Hey Lash lovers, welcome back. I'm Jodie, the CEO of Prolong Lash, and I'm here with Alicia, our marketing guru.
Hello, thank you for joining us today on our YouTube channel. Today, if you've got in mind that you might want to be starting up a business as a lash artist, or maybe you've gotten started from home but you don't really know how to set your business up for success, this video is for you. We're going to help you out.
Certainly is for you. We're going to help you out with lots of things today, from basics right through to a little bit more technical.
Yeah. So let's start with the basics. Just the physical things that you're going to need to get started as a lash artist. We're talking you need a bed, you need a stool, preferably adjustable, so you can move up and down and ergonomically look after your body. A light, a proper lash light, so that you're protecting your eyes. You need the lashing tools themselves. You need the lashes, you need the good quality adhesive, you need good quality tweezers, under eye pads, surgical tape, all that stuff. They're the basics. We do have a good blog on the website that talks about everything you need in a lash artist toolkit. So jump onto that if you want to get really into depth there. But that's the basics to start with. Premises would be good as well, probably, to put all those things in.
Yeah, definitely. I suppose that's the next step, isn't it? But that's your decision then, whether you're actually going to stay at home and work from home, or you're going to start in a salon. Both have such different, things that you need to do to set up.
Mm-hmm.
So having something at home, Alicia, as you know, is all really about having the room set up that's a separate area from your life that's going on inside the other walls, so that people still have an experience with their journey. But putting that stuff into a room at home is certainly a lot easier than going out and getting a salon. But to look into a salon, the first thing you need to do is go what area you want to be in, to starters, and make sure you do your homework on that. Just don't go because you live in an area. Go to that area and only look at those shops. Have a look at big hints for retailers these days are anywhere supermarkets are going. So go somewhere where a supermarket is, because supermarket brings so much traffic flow. Make sure that they're accessible by transport. Just don't go and stick yourself somewhere where some people can't get to. So do some research first on where you're going to go to. I think that's the most important. If you like your area, if your clientele are around your area, ask them. Ask them where they prefer to travel to. It's always a good thing to get some feedback. If you are moving from your home salon into a salon, and ask them if they prefer to go to a shopping centre, if they like strip shopping. Talk to the people that you're actually already servicing, because they're going to follow you wherever you are. But yeah, do your research definitely on rents, costs, size of it. Light that's coming through is really important. Too much light's not really good, but not enough light's not good. So yeah, make sure you really do your research first for postcode, where you want to go, and find your reasons. If you need help, go to the local real estate agents. They're fantastic. Go and talk to them before you even start looking for properties, and have a chat to them about the area. What's the demographic of the area? What's the traffic flow like around this area? How many schools are in the area, which hence how many mums are in the area? Do a little bit of research first before you even start on the postcode.
And also think about, when you're looking at these buildings as potential places, accessibility. I know you already said accessibility with like transport and things like that, but also if you're choosing, like, say, an office building and you have to put in some kind of security code, or someone needs to go up a lift or something, that can be quite a stressful experience for a customer, especially if they haven't been to you before, and it can turn people off. I think people underestimate how stressful people can find it to try to find somebody and actually get to an appointment they're getting to. So just think about ease of access to a building. Do they have to walk through a shop all the way to the back and they're not even sure if you're going to be at the back of it, or something like that? Is that going to turn people off? Make it somewhere that people can see you easily, but also somewhere that you can have privacy for your clients, so they're just like not laying in a shop front window getting their lashes done either.
Yeah, exactly. And make sure you've got an opportunity to put signage up. So whatever building you're looking at, make sure that there is an area at the front of the shop that's clearly going to be visible with your name. Because there's nothing also worse than, even if you're right in front of them and you haven't got a really good place to put a logo or a name, because then you can't find them.
Yeah.
So yeah, visibility, accessibility, traffic flow, demographic, some real basic things that you can just look at in an area.
Yeah, great tips. And now, this is going to differ from place to place, even like, state to state or, council to council. So we can't exactly answer this for everybody. Make sure you take your own personal situation into account. But what are the main things that you're going to have to do to make sure that you're compliant when you're setting up your lash business? What things should people be looking into to see if they are things that they need for their lash salon?
Okay, first, I suppose the first thing is the fit out. Let's start with the fit out. So with the fit out, you've got to make sure that you've got fire and safety, occupational fire and safety and hazard testing done. Usually when you take out a lease, the landlord will talk to you about that. But make sure your fire hydrant's in the right spot. Make sure that your smoke alarms, if they have to be put into yours, are a batch, ones that you can change yourself. Try not to get into one where it's quite an expensive change. You can just unscrew them and put batteries in. Just make sure it's an ease one that you don't have to. Sometimes you have to pay for people to come out and change those things. So ask a few questions about the actual safety of the building itself and what falls under your expenses. That's, for me, it was always the first thing. And then from the lash perspective, have a look at the area. Are your lash beds going to fit in there? How many lash beds do you want to have in there? So, which Alicia will talk a little bit more about that.
There might be capacity issues as well with certain buildings. So think about that. If you're thinking you want to run a salon with 4 beds, think about the fact that you might have 4 people on beds. You might have 4 people doing lashes. You might have 4 people waiting for their lash appointment, and you might have a receptionist or something like that. So
it's 13 people plus furniture.
You got to make sure you're going to have really the amount of space for that, and also be allowed to have that many people in the building at that one time. I think most buildings would be fine, but that's something to check with your landlord as well.
Yeah. Ask the questions, write the notes down, look at the access to restrooms. Make sure you have an access to restroom, preferably that's not shared. You really, really want to look for a premise when you're in the beauty industry, across the board in the beauty industry. It's quite pleasant to have the restroom that you can keep control of yourself.
There's nothing worse than when your client needs to go to the bathroom halfway through and, they have their iPads on and their lashes half tape and they're looking and they're sneaking through to try to go to the bathroom, and then you're guiding them up a set of stairs and down a hall and all the way to the end. And try to have an accessible restroom.
Yeah, really important. And it's all part of the customer experience too, because I know that would change my mind on something. If I had to grab a key and go and I'm not a snob, but had to go and share a toilet that I know that the person that I paid to go and see wasn't in control of, I'd be funny about that, I think. That's just me. Those sort of things that we've talked about are the main things. Once to get in there, then before you go in there, if you found the place you like and you're looking at it, and you know the rent and you've worked out all the expenses and everything else, have a look at your insurances. And good time to have a look at insurances. Is that area an expensive area to insure? Is there a car spot? Are there spots for your clients? The insurance company is going to ask all these questions. So are you going to have a revenue area, like a retail area? Are you selling products in the store? Is it just for services? Then you need to speak to it. From my point of view, you need to speak to an expert on this. You actually need to call a broker or call an insurance company. Just don't leave it that you do your research yourself on this one. If you get your insurance wrong, it can be really detrimental to your business.
Yeah.
And shop around. Really shop around. Don't take the first bit of advice you get. Shop around for insurances. But there are the main things to consider on your insurances are product liability if you're selling products. Obviously, building liability, because you've got to insure your building.
Yeah,
your
so
premise.
maybe building and contents, or maybe just contents, depending on what's your
depending on the agreement is.
Yeah, if your landlord has that included in their business, but always something to look at.
Yeah. So you ask the question, what is included, but definitely
Product
liability, content, insurance. And also check with the natural disasters in your area. Check with, do you have to have an alarm? Some insurances you can get a lot cheaper if you put an alarm in.
Yeah.
So
ask locks on your windows, things like that.
Ask the questions about that, but definitely insurance is the next step.
And public liability insurance in case someone
falls,
slips over, falls off the bed.
Yes.
Anything like that. Make sure you ruin their
and get your listings.
$5,000 Gucci jacket.
Don't mind that.
Something like that. Yeah. Public liability insurance.
So make sure you get a list. list of what they will insure you for, and then do a little bit of shopping around.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, insurance is very important. And then just compliance with your local council and things like that as well. So again, this is going to vary from place to place. Look at your state laws, look at your county laws, look at your council laws. I know that when I set up my council were very specific about things that they needed in a lash salon setup. They needed a sink in the room. They needed all the walls to be white. The flooring had to be non-porous, so it had to be a tile or a floorboard. There was no carpet allowed. And then also I know that when we've set up in a different council, they were like, yeah, whatever, we don't care about eyelash extensions. So, just make sure you're checking that for your area.
Definitely. So I suppose we won't go right into how you fit your store out, how you fit your salon out. We go through the basics. We've done that already, the bed, the toolkits and everything else you need. Colour is really important.
Yeah, let's talk about branding.
Yeah, let's
how
talk
you
about
brand your business.
Branding yourself. So from the start, when you've been talking about your business, everyone's got their colours in mind. I met a girl on the weekend who bought a lash bed, and she was saying that her colours are going to be cream and natural and wood because she wants that professional feel about it. Then we go into salons where everyone has, there's pink and glitter and there's fun. So let your personality come out in your shop fit.
Yeah.
Whatever suits you, have that in your brand. Make sure that your personal brand, it still can be very professional. We talk about this in lots of videos. Your professional brand is your services, is your actual end result, is the products that you've chosen to sell. But your personal brand is the colouring and the feel and what music you have playing and the smell. So
what you personally bring, to the business, and make sure that it stays across everything. So if you are taking on a salon space that perhaps already has certain things, maybe it's like a exposed brick and it's a very industrial look or something like that, think about that and think, is this something I can change to make it a brand that I like? Or do I, if I'm starting from scratch, make my branding to suit my business? If you like that look, maybe you could be like, I'm going to choose my logo that sort of reflects that style, that more industrial feel, something like that. I mean, I wouldn't always recommend that. I would say choose what you like and make your space like that, because spaces are spaces and you might move and, you don't want to have to then do an industrial fit out in every single place. But, think about what's within your limits at that point in time and make sure that your brand from your salon to your social media, to your website, are all in line with each other. And
consistency, so that everyone recognizes that subliminal message. If you are green and white, or if you are black and white, or if they're saying, oh, there's that brand again, don't be scared to keep it simple. Like, you don't have to have thousands and thousands of things in a shop fit. So if you're worrying about the cost, keeping it simple and basic is actually very appealing to people. Clean edges, everything easily. I mean, white, creams, they're all good colours. I'm not saying that that's what you have to do, but they're easy colours to match with. So if you do put basics around on your walls, then if you do decide to put a wood finish, or you do decide to put a pink amongst it, you've still got the basics in the background, and you can change that colour too. It doesn't always have to be the same.
Yeah, something people get really stuck with branding as well is, say, like, my colour is this purple and that's my one colour and I don't change from it. But that's not the only way to brand. Like, you could choose 20 colours for your brand. You could choose 50. Your brand could be rainbow. Your brand could be 30 different shades of orange or pink or whatever. Like, you actually don't have to choose a colour, one colour. That's kind of like old school or big corporate mentality, where they have a logo and that's their colour and they stick with it. But you don't have to do that. Like, there's no rules. You can do whatever you want.
That's exactly right. And that's what I think people have got to remember when they're doing this. Just remember to use your personality. Speak to your friends. Get people involved with your fit out that know you. And if you put something up and they go, oh, it kind of doesn't reflect you, and it's nice to have advice around. Don't do it on your own. Whatever you do, don't go it alone. Get someone to work with you, or just to talk with through things. get a few people around. Like I'm a big believer in you getting a few girlfriends around and having a glass of wine. Anytime I've got something to discuss, it sounds ridiculous, but my group of friends and I sit there and we talk,
Mm.
and so many fantastic things are thrown around, and whatever you take out of that session. So ask your girlfriends, what do you like? What do you like about me?
Ask your early customers. If you're just starting out, you've got to have been practicing on a couple of people. They're the ones that are getting lashes done. What do they want? Are they your future customers? Fulfill their needs.
There you go. So get advice, get feedback. Yeah, so don't do it alone.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know what? Something we skipped in all our excitement
What?
that you should probably do before you even consider certifications, training, getting
Good idea.
organized,
Good idea.
learning how to do lashes properly.
Yeah, okay, that's super important and probably the first step. Yeah.
Probably the first step.
Even before you buy a lash bed or
Yes.
something like that, definitely your first step. And a lot of trainings will sort of offer you some of those initial setup things that I was talking about, those glues and tweezers and lashes to try out. You're absolutely right. The first thing you're going to do is get certified, actually start your training. And there are a lot of options out there in the world, so it can be quite confusing. I know that in the US, you do need to be an esthetician to be able to do lashes. So I think that the first starting point would be to go to esthetician school. In Australia, you don't have to do that. You don't have to be a beautician, as we call it here. You can just go and do straight lash training and become a lash artist. And I imagine it's vastly different in all places around the world. So look into what you actually need to be certified in to be a lash artist, but don't always just stop at what you need, because sometimes what you need just isn't good enough. Like I would say in Australia, what we need is not good enough to be a lash artist. Just going and doing a lash course. Actually, you know what? You don't even have to do a lash course in Australia. You can just YouTube how to do lashes and then do them as long as you get your certification from the council or whatever.
And it's not good for the industry.
It's not good.
It's not good for the industry.
So I would urge people not just to stop at what you need. I think you need to go further and start off with your training, learn how to do lashes, but don't stop there. Don't stop learning. Keep on taking lash courses. Join lash forums on the internet, go to lash conferences and get a mentor. You just mentioned mentors.
Mentoring, yeah. And that doesn't need to be at the start. The mentoring, the one thing with the mentor is the mentor can actually assist you with the opening of your store, because they're usually trained in that sort of thing. But if you don't have the time for that, mentorship can come later when you have the store, when you're in the salon, when you're doing your work. You can then go and engage with a mentor to help you through that stage of then growing the business and keeping on top of yourself personally and your well-being and everything else. That's where a mentor comes in, really, when you're starting to get burnt out from having this new salon and all this pressure. So yeah, looking at mentors is really good. And I think we've got a blog on mentorship, haven't we?
You're right.
Yeah.
We
So
do.
jump on our website.
And speaking of mentors, I think that it's a good way to keep you motivated. But I think it's important for people that are starting out in lash business to start out the way that they want to finish. A lot of people go into it and say, oh, I don't want to charge too much because I'm scared I won't get any clients, and things like that. And I was recently talking to a beautician that I have been seeing. She's moving to a different part of town and she's going to completely rebrand, but she wasn't going to change her prices. Now she's moving from a part of town where I live, where no one has any money. So you can't charge that much where I live, but she's moving to a quite affluent area to open her salon, and there is money there to be spent. And I just remember saying to her, you are doing such a disservice to yourself if you don't raise your prices like dramatically when you go over there. And she said, well, I'll just start with this price and then I'll raise it later. And by the end of the session, I had her completely change her tune because I was just sort of hammering her all service long. So I was like, it's just not, you need to start off strong. I know it feels scary to say, I'm going to charge like the most that I want to earn out of a lash service. And you might think no one's going to come, but there is a lash clientele for everyone. And if you've done all the right things, like we've said today, you have the right training, you have the knowledge, you have a nice space, everything's accessible, and it's a nice area for people to come to, charge the most you want to ever charge for a set of lashes. Don't sell yourself short. You know what you're doing. You know what is good. You know
Yeah.
that clients will pay a good amount of money if you treat yourself with respect and say, I am a great lash artist. That is why I charge so much. People will respect that.
There you go.
Mm.
We talked about this on another time too. We talked about pricing, and everyone's scared of increasing pricing, and when you do it, so don't get yourself caught behind. Be in front.
Yeah, we do have another blog about when is a good time to increase your lash prices. So jump onto the website for that too. We have heaps of resources on the website, like blogs. We have so many blogs. We have so many different videos on the YouTube channel across lashes and lash businesses. And we have our Aussie Lashwise podcast where we're always talking about business tips. So,
And you have our addresses. And
yeah,
you have our email address.
you know where we live.
We have our email address. So any questions you've got, anything else that hasn't come up today that you think you want to talk about, just email me. I'm on the website and I'm happy to talk to you through your business. And Alicia's been helping some people with their websites, getting their websites all tidied up. We're here to help. So we're not just here to sell you the best aftercare product in the world. We're here to sell ourselves as well.
Yeah. Everyone's willing to help. And there is free resources out there. So make the most of them, you know?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we hope that you got something out of today. We love talking about building businesses and brands here at Prolong.
Yes.
We did. We started in a garage and now we're in over 85 countries and we're very proud of that.
Yeah.
So
Pretty crazy. And you can do that too.
Yay.
So, you know, just believe in yourself and follow the simple steps and make sure that you tick all your boxes and you do everything correctly. Don't cut corners and be the best lash artist that you can be. We believe in you.
Okay, if you like this video, give us a thumbs up. Make some comments, get in contact with us. Anything else you want to do through our emails, or jump on our website if you want to purchase our product, www.prolonglash.com.au for Australia and .com for the US.
That's right. And of course, our socials and our Aussie Lashwives podcast.
Yay!
So thank you for joining us today.
See you later.